What's up, YouTube? This is GroudonEmpire, and as you can see, I am back with the same team that I just explained a bit earlier. We are on the menu of Raiding Battle Spot Single, and I'm about to press the challenge button. So yeah, we are using the same team as you can see. So I press challenge, and right now we are going into this ladder with 1,797 points. And the reason I have 1,797 points rather than high 1800s or 1900s, which is actually more a high ladder, is because I lose to opponents that are 50 points less than me, and I lose 18 points. But then if I beat him, and we found an opponent 1767, you know, similarly 30 points less. When I see opponents that are, I'll write their team down quickly. So as you can see, our opponent does have a Suicune. And Suicune, as you know, this is the last season where I'm pretty sure the event Suicune that has Sheer Cold and Extreme Speed will be even legal anymore. So, you know, we're going to have a battle versus a Suicune, more than likely a Suicune that we're not going to be seeing when we're playing Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire's League. So this is definitely a game. Definitely, if it is a Sheer Cold variant with Extreme Speed, definitely a worthwhile opponent to end the season off. And the season is ending in 2 days as of the recording of this, and for you guys watching on Lumios, it probably has already ended because the season is ending on the 13th. Now, I wrote their team. They have a Blaziken. Oh, we have a Blaziken, and they have a Blaziken. Ain't that a small world? Really small world. Very small world. Alright, so right from the get-go, I see that I don't need rocks. I really don't. Because the only... Well, actually, now that I think about it, I think I need rocks. Well, let's think about Blaziken here for a bit. Blaziken can wreck Raikou, can wreck Heracross. I like Azumarill in this game. It can put in work. However, I would need... So I'm going to use Garchomp, Azumarill, and Blaziken. I want Garchomp for the rocks. It might be a Sash Blaziken. You know, I don't want to take my chances. And rocks helps for my offensive Pokemon to do more damage. Azumarill can set up a Belly Drum and put in work, especially versus Cresselia. I've actually done that a few games back. And Blaziken just cleans up. So that's going to be my team. Garchomp, Azumarill, and Blaziken. So as I was saying earlier about my points... So if I beat someone who has 1,890 points, I get like 20 points or 18 points. If I lose to someone at 1,740, I lose 18 to 20 points. And basically, if I just win versus someone that's at 1,840 and then I lose versus that individual, I have a -6 deficit. So if I play 3 games versus them and I win 2 and I lose 1, then I have a very small increase. Anyway, we see our opponent with Raikou. That can be a light clay Raikou. In fact, I predict it's going to be a light clay. It's going to be a dual screening Raikou. That's what I predict. However, I am just going to go for the Rock Tomb to lower its speed, because even if it decides to kill me and it switched out, and even if it does decide to switch out as I want to continue, I do damage on something and I lower its speed, and it's great. With Cresselia with lowered speed is definitely a great opponent. Why? Because it gives my... And we got a crit. That crit really doesn't matter for my intents and purposes, especially when the Cresselia has a chance to heal up in the future. When I use Rock Tomb on the Cresselia, now my Azumarill is fast enough that after I can set up a Belly Drum, and then afterwards, if I don't get... You know, if that thing doesn't have Thunder Wave, I can just play rough after Belly Drum, and then I can just have a party over the entire rest of the team. So that's why I'm going to set up rocks right now. If there is a Ferrothorn in the back, I can just use Superpower, and that'll be a good time. It'll be a really good time. Uses Thunder Wave, so that's something. And I believe at this time of my recording, either King Nappy is tweeting or Shady Penguin is tweeting, because I just got a text message. I don't even know why Shady Penguin would be awake at this time in the night. It is 3:25 a.m. when I'm recording this, and we are both in Eastern Standard Time. But I'm positive my phone is not on silent because no one does anything at this time of the night. But anyway, sorry for that distraction. I am just going to keep on using Rock Tombs, because if it does want to use Thunder Wave on my Azumarill, If I can just lower this thing's speed enough so that Rock Tomb does a good amount of Rock Tomb, lowers it to -6, then I'm in good shape. My opponent did get a crit, so crit for crit, but that crit, unlike the crit that I got, which doesn't matter versus a Bulkymon like Cresselia, the crit that Bulkymon got on me is really, like, that really matters. So I'm just going to keep on Rock Tombing away because I have nothing better to do. I really don't have anything better to do. And a Heracross comes out. That, I don't agree with my opponent's play. Because it might be a Mega. Whatever it is, like, I really don't agree with what my opponent just did. And again, my phone is ringing. I apologize. I apologize so much. This is I'm following you guys, the conductors and Lumios. I'm sorry, I apologize. Anyway, so I'm gonna just use Outrage. My opponent might just bring in the Cresselia. However, I do feel at this range, well, actually, Outrage is not a 2-hit KO. Holy crap, somebody is tweeting like non-stop. I'm going to Outrage. I am going to Outrage because I feel like that's my best move. My opponent might just go into the Cresselia. My opponent does not go into the Cresselia, and instead, they opt to Mega Evolve. I believe that is a very bad play on my opponent's part. But I don't know. Maybe my opponent thought that's all I would be doing. But that was a bad play on my opponent's part. And now the Heracross is gone. Azumarill now has an easier time doing things. And I really hope that the my phone constantly ringing does not cause this video to not get uploaded onto Lumios. I am following conductors after all, and it's 3:27 a.m. I don't know which conductor would be would be tweeting nonstop at this time. My Garchomp is down. I don't know if it's a Specs Raikou, but whatever Raikou it is, I'm just gonna go into Blaziken right now. And right now, if this Raikou is Specs, well, it's gonna have to switch out. And if it is indeed Specs, I'll just Swords Dance. And even if it's not Specs, it's definitely not Life Orb. So if I do set up the Swords Dance, I can wreck the Cresselia after Mega Evolving. And, well, if this guy switches out, well, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter what happens. But if this guy is Light Clay and has 2 attacking moves, I might be in trouble. I just might be in trouble. Alright, so my opponent is, what's it called? What's that item? My opponent is Specs. Either Specs or Scarf. Probably Specs. And I believe at this range, a +2 Flare Blitz should be able to one-hit KO the Cresselia. A +2 Flare Blitz should be able to one-hit KO the Cresselia. And if it does not one-hit KO the Cresselia, I think my Blaziken goes down. And alright, so I am going to go for the Flare Blitz. It should one-hit KO. This is a +2 Swords Dance. Unless I get like low rolled, I do not see it not dying. The Cresselia is down. The biggest, the scariest Pokemon in this format and in future well, actually, you know what? Mega Slowbro is probably going to become the scariest defensive mon in the format. Yeah. Mega Slowbro is going to become the scariest defensive mon in the format once Mega Slowbro is out. But for X and Y, Cresselia is definitely the most evil Pokemon in existence. And right now, my opponent definitely seems to be Specs. If my opponent is Scarfed, I am screwed. So I am going to use Protect just in case my opponent might be Scarfed. If my opponent is Substitute, I am not going to be happy. My opponent is not Substitute. So that means this is a win. We were fortunate to have a matchup that Mega Blaziken can really set up a Swords Dance with. We were also fortunate that my opponent made very questionable play going into that Heracross. However, my opponent is at 1747 or something like that. And if you guys have played Battle Spot Single for yourselves, you guys do know that it is not the easiest thing in the world to break 1700. And that's definitely mid ladder, and 1800s is high mid ladder. 1900s and above is high ladder. And my journey, while it is to become 1900s, I'm not at 1900s right now. But if you really want to know if I do end up getting 1900s, my information will probably be mentioned by the Lumios conductors. And so yeah, I hope you guys are watching this on Lumio Station. And if you are not, then wherever you're watching it, I hope you guys are enjoying it. And I hope everyone at Lumio Station really, really learned something from this and really, appreciated BattleSpot, the format, and what went through in the team building, not the team building process, but why I use the specific Pokemon that I use on the team. This was GroudonEmpire. Peace out.